Hello viewers, I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you so much for joining us. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States is hosting its Regional Trade Exposition in an effort to connect small business suppliers with buyers of all sectors for a 3-day networking event. I am today joined by the local coordinators for this regional event, Mrs. Shaina Smith-Archer, who's the chairperson of the BVICCHA, alongside Ms. Lavina Liburd, the president of business at the chamber as well. Of course, this is an amazing opportunity for locals here in the Virgin Islands to be a part of a regional trade show that again connects small business suppliers with buyers. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Introducing a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons. I'm taking you outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's the best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Virgin Gorda to Joss Van Dyke, not forgetting Anegada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing. We are the movers and shakers of this generation. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman. Season 4 by yours truly, Ron Grant. Raising a generation of greatness. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on 284 Media.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Hello viewers, thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 Media out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. As promised, I am joined by Mrs. Archer and Miss Liburd. Ladies, thank you so much for your time and welcome back to our platform.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. As I mentioned before, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States is hosting its Regional Trade Exposition, and Virgin Islanders have an amazing opportunity to be a part of this Virtual Trade Exposition. However, before we get into the Trade Exposition, Chairperson, I want to begin with you. What has the Chamber been up to?
Oh, we have a lot of things in the pipeline, Ron. You know, this event in terms of the regional activity that we're here to talk about is just one of many things. We also have coming up and coming initiative to promote our local young entrepreneurs more. More information is going to come out about that later on this month. And we actually have also revised our new member perks. So if someone signs up with the CCHA today, in addition to the other benefits, they'll be able to, receive a coaching session, website banner ad for a week. We'll also do a Facebook promo and an e-blast that's free. All of this is part of their new member package. So what we're trying to do is really create value, more value rather, I would say, for membership with the association to really, help our entrepreneurs to be a success.
Wonderful. I want to get into this amazing event. Why should Virgin Islanders take advantage of this opportunity?
Go ahead, Lavina.
Well, this is quite a unique opportunity to interact with not only other micro, small, and medium enterprises throughout the OECS region, but to interact with buyers, potential clients on a regional level. One of the desires, I won't say requirements, for participation in the Expo is a business that is ready to grow, to scale to the next level, to go regional, ready to export if there are goods involved, ready to work on a broader basis if there are services involved. And from that basis, the OECS is looking to build wider continuing linkages for the benefit of all. And having a larger market is never a bad thing. Positioning yourself to understand what's available in the wider market and to take advantage of it is part of the reason being for business in a lot of ways, isn't it, Ron?
Absolutely.
And so this is an excellent opportunity to have that broader interaction. And not only that, but to have some preparatory sessions with the OECS coordinating team in preparing the virtual exhibit for the Expo. So it's a really, really valuable opportunity on multiple levels.
One of the things, ladies, that I do appreciate about this opportunity is the OECS is not just simply accepting persons and throwing them out into the wild, as you would possibly say, but persons who are signing up for this virtual trade exposition get an opportunity to actually sit and train and learn exactly what are the industry standards, what are the requirements in order to put their business on the market. One of the things, Ms. Liburd, that you mentioned is securing an opportunity if you are ready, if your business is in an opportunity to scale. Sometimes we tend to think a little bit too small, and I do think that this is an opportunity for small, medium, and as you said, micro businesses to think outside the box and think on a larger, more regional scale. Tell us about some of the industries that are welcomed for this trade show.
Well, I'm really hoping now that I don't miss any, but hopefully if I miss one of the sectors, Shaina will pop right in. Number one on the list, creative industries. Agriculture is a key part of this. Manufacturing, professional services, which you know we have a plethora of various types within the Virgin Islands as well. Okay, so I'm bumming out at 4. Health and wellness.
Health and wellness, food and beverage.
Food and beverage, yes, of course.
So persons or businesses that have, let's say, food products or drinks, they can also be a part of this show.
Wonderful. Shaina, I want to go back to the role of the chamber, not only on a local perspective, and you guys have been the representative for the business community for over 50 years. How important would you say at this very critical juncture in our territory where we have experienced so much dating back to 2017, then of course the onset of the pandemic, how important is it for businesses who are at a point where they're ready to scale their business to take advantage of this opportunity?
I think this is, we can't stress enough, Ron, because this is actually the first ever trade exposition that the OECS is doing as a virtual show. We are part of the planning committee, so we actually meet every other week with all the other regional trade organizations to discuss the activities that are being planned. So we hadn't put a date out there, so let me just throw this out now that it's going to be May 2023, but we want persons to enroll from now because, again, as Lavina mentioned, you have to have orientation, as it were. So the platform is going to be all technical. They showed us a mock-up actually last week, and it was really great to see where, you know, it's still going to be as interactive as possible. And I think this is important, especially for our small business owners, as a way to hone their skills, learn their elevator pitch, you know, even in their sleep. They're going to be able to still do brochures. Again, all of these things will be done digitally, so persons can come into the virtual trade expo, as it were, and actually click on the different aspects of your business that you want to showcase. Another key aspect of this is the training. So we're gonna have presentations, panel discussions, keynote speakers from around the region. And I don't know how we didn't mention it yet, Ron, but all of this is free. So there's no registration cost to exhibitors to sign up for this trade expo.
And that is amazing. Lavina, I want to touch on the fact that you, from your seat, have a very unique opportunity in really scaling and observing the needs of businesses. As president of business, what would you say to persons, business owners who are looking at this and are very interested and will be signing up? What exactly should they come into this? What mindset should they be thinking of?
Come into it with a growth mindset. Come into it with a very open mind. Come into it with an excitement, right? Because participating in the first of anything is quite amazing. It's quite tremendous, yes. And the goal with the OECS is to have this event every 2 years and to move from virtual to hybrid. So this is actually the best time to get in because setting up a virtual booth is much less costly than setting up an in-person booth on whichever island is hosting the trade show in that given year. So you are able to not only have free registration, almost no cost setup of the booth because, as I said, everything is virtual. You may want to have some professional pictures of your products taken, obviously. You may want to have
a video.
Yes, video interaction. And it's going to be this really interesting thing of, you know, when you go to an in-person trade show, you go to the panels, you listen to the discussions or you participate in the discussions, but you also go out onto the floor and walk from booth to booth.
Yes.
Well, you'll be able to do basically the same thing in the digital setup. You'll be able to make an appointment to speak to someone in a booth, or rather as an exhibitor, you will have appointments made for buyers to come in and speak to you. So during the 3 days of the trade show, the first 2 days are panels and discussions as well as appointments at the booths. And the third day is entirely all day having the opportunity to speak to buyers, to speak to potential clients, to have people come into your booth on appointment. So there is a commitment required. Because even though it's virtual and you may be able to be at your desk while monitoring the trade show, you're going to have to be able to be on to speak with potential buyers. The idea is for some deals at least to be made on the spot where possible. So you want to have all your information, brochures, virtual business card, everything together and ready to go. And I think that's also why the organizers want to get exhibitors enrolled from October, even though the show is in May. It's to make sure that the first is excellent, to make sure that exhibitors are at the top of their game, because you know buyers are coming in to spend money and they're going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for?
High expectations.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
High expectations when they're purchasing a product and taking it into a new country, right? So this long timeline is to make sure that so don't be hesitant as a business person if you think, well, I'm not sure I'm ready, I'm not sure I can produce this material, because the training sessions will assist you in understanding how to produce the material.
Wonderful.
And how to interact on the platform. So we're looking at, okay, let's say registration is in October. We're looking at November, December, January, February, March, April. Obviously not full-time, but to get prepared, to understand the platform, to prepare your exhibits, to update your exhibits, to run them by a friend, you know, and really sort of take full advantage of this opportunity.
Well, when you put this into perspective, especially for persons who might be participating in something like this for the very first time, it's really not a lot of time given the responsibilities of a daily business and life. So I do appreciate that the OECS is giving participants ample enough time to really make sure that they are prepared for this virtual trade show. Of course, you both, through the chamber, are the local communicators and coordinators of this event. How can persons who are interested in registering for the Virtual Trade Exposition, how can they get in contact with the chamber?
So information is available on our website as well as on our social media pages, so Facebook and Instagram. If they go onto the homepage right now on the website, www.bviccha.org, they will see the poster and they can click on that and it directs you to download the form. So it's a simple form, again, in the first instance, to register your interest. And then there will be a meeting later on this month to do a briefing so then they can get even more information and make that final decision. I also just wanted to add in there real quick, Ron, in terms of market research.
Yes.
So we've been talking about, you know, sometimes we say, oh, market here is too small, so my business can't grow. So automatically that means if you go online, one of the ways is that you are going to be targeting a particular, you know, country. And in this case, this is the Caribbean region we're now having access to. So, you know, Lavina and I were talking this weekend and I said to her, you know, if for nothing else, this is a good market research opportunity to see who else is doing similar or the same things to you within the region and, you know, prompt you to change your game or up your game, as it were, to become more competitive, to actually start to service the region. So, you know, we can't, you know, encourage persons, you know, we're here to come alongside them. If they have any questions, they can email us, at info@bviccha.org or call the office 345-3513.
I'd like to point out briefly that this particular opportunity isn't just limited to chamber members. Of course, we'd love you to become a member of the chamber.
Absolutely.
To stay in the loop for these ongoing opportunities, because of course, chamber members got the first email about this before we started promoting it on, you know, the news and social media and so on. But it is not limited to members of the chamber. Any micro, small, or medium enterprise can apply.
Wonderful. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing about this remarkable opportunity. Of course, viewers, the Virtual Trade Exposition being hosted by the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States is open to the territory of the Virgin Islands, and you have an amazing opportunity to participate. Registration deadline is October 15th. However, the three-day Virtual Trade Exposition will be held in May of 2023. You are joined by two members of the Chamber Chairperson, Mrs. Shaina Smith Archer, alongside President of Business, Ms. Lavina Liburd. Thank you so much, ladies. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Ron.
It's my pleasure. Viewers, that's all the time we have. I'll see you later. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.